What if the greatest novel ever written is just about one ordinary day? No wars, no dragons, no dramatic rescues, just a man walking around a city from breakfast to midnight. That's it. And yet, over 100 years later, people still travel across the world on every June 16 just to walk on the same street in the same order as a fictional character once did. Today, we are going to walk with him too. His name was James Joyce, Dublin born, sharp-tongued, and half in love with the city he couldn't stop writing about even after he left it for good. In 1922, he published a novel so strange, so unlike anything before it, that it was banned in America, Britain for over a decade. Critics called it obscene, chaotic, and unreadable. Today, we call it the greatest novel of the 20th century because Joyce didn't just tell a story. He tried to capture something no writer had dared to capture before. What it actually feels like to be a human mind thinking for 18 straight hours. Before we meet our characters, you need to meet the real star of the story, the Dublin itself. Joyce once said he wanted to write the city so completely that if it were vanished from the earth, it could be rebuilt brick by brick from his pages. Every street, every shopfront, every pub real. Dublin isn't just a backdrop here. It breathes, it gossips, it watches. It's the city of ordinary people who don't know they are about to become immortal. So our first companion in the story is Stephen Dedalus, a young poet, brilliant, broke, grieving about his mother and suffocating under the weight of his own thoughts. He's staying in the crumbling tower by the sea with his friends who don't really understand him. He feels like an outsider in his own country, his own religion, even in his own family. Stephen is searching for something, a father, a purpose, a way out of his own head. He just doesn't know it yet. And the second companion is Leopold Bloom, 38 years old, an advertising salesman, gentle, curious, a little lonely, and about to become one of the most beloved characters in the literary history. Bloom isn't a hero in the traditional sense. He doesn't fight with monsters. He worries about money. He grieves a son he lost 11 years ago. He knows somewhere in his heart that his marriage is quietly falling apart. But he is kind, believably kind. And on the single day, that kindness will matter more than he knows. And upstairs in the same house lies Mary Bloom, Leopold's wife, a singer, sensual, sharp-witted, and restless in the marriage that he has gone quiet. Molly doesn't say much today. In fact, she barely leaves the bed. But by the end of the story, you will understand her more deeply than almost any character ever written, because Joyce is going to hand you the microphone directly into her mind. So we are going to start our story. It's June 16, 1904. Two men, strangers to each other, are about to spend the next 18 hours wandering in the same small city. Stephen teaches a history class he doesn't care about. He wanders the beach, drowning in his own thoughts. Bloom runs errands, attends a funeral for a friend, argues about politics in a pub, and quietly, secretly, he writes a letter to a woman who isn't his wife. Neither of them knows the other exists. But Dublin is really small. And by the nightfall, everything changes. Here is what makes Ulysses so revolutionary. Joyce doesn't just tell you what Bloom does. He just shows you what Bloom thinks in real time, unfiltered, the way the thoughts actually happen. One moment, Bloom sees a cat. His mind jumps. Soft world. My daughter had a cat once. Wonder what she's doing right now. Smell of fresh bread. I should eat something. That's it. That's the technique. No neat sentences, no tidy transition, just messy, beautiful chaos of the mind in motion. Because that's what being human actually feels like. Here is the secret hiding underneath the whole story. The title, Ulysses. It is the Latin name for Odysseus, the Greek hero from Homer's epic, who spent the 10 years fighting with monsters and gods just to get home to his wife. Joyce took the ancient journey and shrank it down to 18 hours in one just ordinary day in a city. Bloom is Odysseus, Stephen is Telemachus, the son searching for a father. Molly is Penelope waiting at home. There is no Cyclops here, no sirens, just a nosy neighbor, a rowdy in a pub, and lonely walk on the beach. Joyce's message is bold. The epic hero isn't a warrior anymore. He is just a man trying to get through a day with his own heart intact. By nightfall, Stephen has spiraled into drunkenness, adrift and vulnerable in the darker corners of the city. And Bloom, who has spent all day quietly caring for everyone, but himself feels a strange pull to look out for a young stranger, almost like a father would. Finally, in a chaotic dreamlike brothel scene where the reality and hallucination blur together, their paths collide. Two strangers, one lost, one lonely, finding each other by accident in exactly the way life actually works. Bloom brings Stephen home, makes him cocoa, talks with him quietly into the night. It's such a small scene, no grand speeches, no dramatic embrace. But after a day of loneliness, Bloom mourning a lost son, Stephen mourning a lost mother, this quiet cup of cocoa become one of the most emotionally powerful moments in the modern literature. Sometimes heroism isn't battle, it's just showing up for someone. The novel ends here, in the bedroom, in the Molly's minds. For nearly 50 unbroken pages, Joyce hands us her thoughts directly. No period slowing her down, no chapters to pause on. Just Molly remembering her life, her marriage, her lovers, her regrets, her joys, pouring out one of the continuous, breathless way. And the night at the very end, she remembers the moment Bloom proposed to her on a hillside overlooking the sea. Her last word and the last word of the entire novel is simply yes. So, why does any of this matter? Why do people still read this strange, difficult, beautiful book over 100 years later? Because Ulysses tells us something we all secretly need to hear. Your ordinary day matters. Your wandering thoughts matters. Your quiet loneliness, your small kindness, your unspoken love, all of it worthy of an epic. Joyce didn't write about identity, memory, family, and love. He proved that the human mind itself, messy, wandering, endlessly alive, is the greatest story ever told. That's why Ulysses changed the literature forever. It gave ordinary person the same dignity once reserved for gods and kings. One day, three minds, one unforgettable journey. That's Ulysses. If you enjoyed exploring the masterpiece, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Literature Room for more fascinating stories from the world of literature. Thank you.